She didn't say nothing. She sends the video out to expose her boss, her manager, on how bad and how abusive he is at the workplace. And they decide to put her on unpaid suspension? How does this work? I'm sorry. Pascal. Y'all need to keep your eyes open and be very clear on what the hell is going on. We got a video here where there was a woman, a black woman at a Wendy's, if I'm correct. I think it's a Wendy's. She is basically being called the B word. Okay, rhymes with itch. And she catches it by, okay, so she's getting called the B word, rhymes with itch, by her manager, by her own boss. Okay, and she catches this on video. Now, the thing that is very weird is what happens after this man, after the whole incident happens. She has some very interesting information afterwards on here that we need to take a look at, because I think it's absolute trash, in my personal opinion. So let's take a look at this video. This is unbelievable.
Clean. It means the clean, bitch.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I got
Straight
you on
up.
camera, Mike.
And you're a
Got you on camera, Mike. Guess what, Mike? That's the end of the road, Mike.
I'm sorry. Every time I hear that, and we come to the end, you know what I'm saying? Like straight up Boys to Men. All right, let's continue. Sorry.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
That's the last time. Yeah.
That's
Look
the
how
last time.
disrespectful he is. I'm finna send this video to Lisa. I'm sorry, Lisa. But this is how your other managers treat me.
What have you done since we closed? Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely cleaned out the first frosty machine. I wasn't done.
Actually,
I wasn't. Jarrell did not. Jarrell, did you clean up that frosty machine?
you drained it
No.
for him.
No. That wasn't the case. That's why you should mind your own business.
It's still not clean.
It's not clean because I wasn't finished. Like I just said. Sorry and stuff.
You know, it's one thing. It's one thing to hate your job. You know, if you're the manager, it's one thing to hate your job, but it's another thing to hate your job and bring it into work and put it on everybody else that works for you. Just saying. Let's keep going.
I prayed for you. All right, y'all.
Sorry, real quick. So this is the aftermath. She's about to give us some information about what happened after the video was sent to her boss, the higher ups, etc. This part is pretty shocking in my personal opinion, and I think it's absolute trash. Let's take a listen.
So my boss called me to the office after I got the statement in or whatever. I just got suspended pending an investigation. Mind you, they did not suspend this man yet.
Okay, I'm sorry. We're gonna roll that back one more time. Because that don't make no sense, y'all. So she got suspended, but her manager did not get suspended. Yet she gave him the video. She's the one who's suspended. Okay, let me play this one more time.
Mind you, they did not suspend this man yet. Right? Mind you, they did investigation. I just got suspended pending an investigation. Mind you, they did not suspend this man yet. Right? He came into work, did his job. They told me that they might not be able to pay me during the whole suspension. He said, I asked. They said they might not be able to do that. And they're just going to pay you for the work that you did.
Hold on.
It's fine with me. Hope you guys enjoy y'all day. I'm going to enjoy mine. Thank you.
Okay. There you have it. So she's getting suspended. She's not even on paid leave, basically. She's being suspended for not even doing anything. She's being suspended on behalf of her boss's mistakes. Now, does that make any sense to you? I'm just, I'm asking for a friend. Does that make any sense to you? Because last time I checked, when somebody does something bad, and you catch that on tape, and they keep throwing out expletives and keep calling you names. He called her like a communist B word and all this stuff. He said all kinds of stuff to her. She didn't say nothing. She sends the video out to expose her boss, her manager, on how bad and how abusive he is at the workplace. And they decide to put her on unpaid suspension? How does this work? I'm sorry. What?
It's the chain of command and or the ladder of authority in these fast food restaurants, Pascal. It's manager's word over the crew. And I guess they have to investigate, but to suspend her over that, and then investigate is crazy because they have to prove that she did something wrong. Right? So investigation is fine, but for them to suspend her while being investigated, that's not cool at all. That policy should be, changed because you can't take the manager's word over the crew for everything that's done. There should be a collective body of people who can discuss this before they decide to suspend somebody. The good thing, her cell phone camera is her evidence. So if it goes any farther than this, she can actually use that against the manager and whoever owns that franchise Wendy's. Because it's not Wendy's corporate. It's going to be Wendy's, probably the management or ownership of the actual branch, the franchise. The good thing is this too, that she gets a GoFundMe page. So she has raised $11,000 so far.
Which is great. Thank you, Jesus, for that. Because here's the thing. This is not hearsay. This is not something that was just made up. She caught him on tape saying it several times. It wasn't just one time. It wasn't not. This is not a hearsay. Like, he said, she said situation. He straight up said it and it gave zero damns. Now,
Zero.
and the thing is like zero damage. But here's the thing. This is what's so frustrating about the world that we live in, or the fast food world, right? I get it. It's not the greatest job in the world. You know what I'm saying? It's a thankless job. A lot of people, of course, the way that we look at it here in this country, maybe it's looked at differently elsewhere. It's looked at as like, I'll be honest, it's not like it's something that is looked at in the most positive light. All right. And there's a lot of people here that will sit here and go, hey, I understand, right? Like, I understand that this job is crap. There's grease all over the floor. You're basically skating everywhere you go. Shoot, I've done the fast food circuit in my life too. You know what I mean? It was one of my first jobs I ever had. You know what I'm saying? As a kid.
Yep.
But at the same time, like, I understand it's a thankless job, especially if you stay with it. You realize how thankless it can be, and how people are always side eyeing stuff and everything. You know what I mean? But you and the job that you have, But at the same time, if you don't like the job, go somewhere else. Because next thing you know, your toxic mentality, your anger, the way you feel about certain things, it's just going to seep out and go out to everybody else. People are not going to enjoy your presence if you are like this all the time. Now, clearly this girl filmed this video for a very specific reason. Because, hey, this wasn't the first time he's called her the B word. This isn't the first time that he has verbally abused his employees while in the workplace. That's the only reason why she pulled out her phone. And here it is, though, too. Let me add this in here, too. Thank God she pulled out the phone, just like T said earlier. And I said it in the very beginning, too. Thank God we have this recording ability on our phones. Because if she didn't pull this out and tape that whole entire thing, she wouldn't be justified. Now we got to talk about this. I understand that it's all about tiers and it's all about like boss and owner or manager or whatever, and then whatever the tier is. But at the same time, this is somebody who was caught on tape, caught on film, or as the kids say, caught in 4K, y'all, talking some crazy ish to an employee. He should be the one who's being put on suspension without pay, not the other way around. And it doesn't matter. I don't give two damns if this employee may not be the best employee in the world. Maybe she might, you never know. She might be lazy. She might be very slow about taking care of things. You know what I'm saying? And that could aggravate the hell out of him too. But that does not justify your manager talking ish on you. That does not justify him talking trash towards this young girl, towards this employee. You still have to keep it diplomatic. You still have to go at them with respect. Or if there's a problem with them and it's a reoccurring issue, you fire their asses. You don't keep them around. There's plenty of people out here that are looking for jobs. I think it's absolute trash that she got kicked out and they're investigating. Here it is too. If both of them are trash, then both of them should be fired. If there's a history of her being not the greatest employee, let's just say allegedly, and he is trash as well, both of them should be fired. But if it's a thing where it's all misunderstanding and he just likes to blow his top because he just hates his life so much because he's the manager of a Wendy's, then that motherfucker needs to straight up kick rocks. Yes, I cursed. Sorry. But that dude needs to kick rocks. We need to say, chuck up the deuces and let him do his thing. Period. I think it's trash, y'all. I don't have time nor the tolerance to see this kind of stuff happen because what happened to her is unjust. Completely unjust. This girl should still have her job. T?
Yeah. I mean, Michigan has a state law that you should have a safe work environment. And clearly on camera, that's not happening. We hear this manager, quote unquote manager, quote unquote leader, which he's not, use the foul language, use foul words against his own employees, and direct it at that one employee, repeatedly, just because he perceived she didn't do something he asked her to do. And she said, I did it. I'm doing it. And I'm assuming he was going off on a tirade before that because she had her camera ready to go. So I'm assuming she was ready to catch him with something. Because he probably talking down to her probably for a few minutes. And she finally pushed the record button enough to get him saying it again. And this is the crazy part. He kept going off. He didn't even care. And that shows you right there, like, people who have, power and privilege and some prestige or maybe connections, to whomever, he knows the job is safe or that it'd be a slap on the wrist. You know what I'm saying? That's the scary part where the accountability is given to only a select few. And that's not fair in any kind of workplace because everybody should be held under the same criteria. Everybody. And especially as a boss, even more because you're a boss.
Yeah, no. And that's the thing. He should be held accountable without a shadow of a doubt for what he has done. He should be, not her. She didn't do anything. At least in the video. She's just videotaping the entire thing. She doesn't even curse back at him. She doesn't even say anything to him. All she does is just like she doesn't even she doesn't clap back at him. That's what I'm trying to say. Of course she's defending herself. I think that's totally fine. But this dude, this piece of trash doesn't even do nothing. You know what I'm saying? He doubles down instead of going, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. My bad. He doubles down and starts calling her all kinds of crazy stuff. Starts calling her a communist, starts calling her all kinds of crazy stuff. For what reason? For what reason? And yet once again, this girl is the one that's being suspended. Now, I also will say this too. This ain't the first time I've heard this story. I've seen many people get fired from a job because their boss did something that they didn't do. But then suddenly, because of whatever, because of favoritism, etc.,
Yep.
they'll get kicked out. That person will get kicked out. Like, we're not even diving into color at all. I'm not diving into the color of her skin and that she has melanin. I'm not even starting to go there yet. We haven't even touched that yet. We could, but I ain't going there right now. Because no matter what, this situation is wrong and unjust. Whether she is a black girl or any other race. I feel like this same situation would have happened to another employee, whether she had melanin or not in her skin. That's what I think. I think that Wendy's is just trash and corrupt as hell. That's what I think. We're not even talking about the race. We ain't talking about race. We're just talking about common decency, human decency. And there's no reason for somebody like this guy, this boss, this manager, to be talking to any employee like this. Because here's the other thing too. You got to remember this too. There are other employees in there. There are other people there. Eyewitnesses listening to the words that are coming out of their manager's mouth. You don't think that maybe he's talking the same ish to everybody else the same way? He probably is. He probably rules that Wendy's, that sounds so crazy. He probably rules that Wendy's with an iron fist, or let's just say an iron tongue. It's trash, y'all. It's trash. Hopefully this video does go uber viral. Wendy sees what's really going on here. And they go and they fire that ass. Because that's exactly what needs to happen right here. I can't believe that this is even a moment, that there was even a moment of hesitation to fire this man. Or at least suspend him so that they can look into what's going on. How about this too? You do a thing where you suspend both so then you can look into what's going on. That's a little bit more fair than you just suspending her without pay and not suspending him without pay. I think that's unjust. That's wrong. That's messed up. And Wendy's has a lot of looking into. They got a lot of splitting to do for real, because that's trash, y'all. They should know better. They should know better.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.